Hey everybody, this is Bradley with Lead Gadget, and this is training webinar number 5, 7:30 a.m. Eastern on April 9th. So welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about a few different things that I mentioned last week, and also try to answer some questions that have come up in the Facebook community recently, or the Facebook group, I should say. So, and also I don't really have a whole lot to cover today other than just those questions and some stuff about the conversion pixels. We had talked about that briefly last week, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today, more about what it is. But after that, if any questions that you guys have, just put them on the events page, and I'll get to those, and we'll kind of roll through this. So I'm going to go ahead and take the screen, and we're going to open up the questions. I guess the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about, get off of this crazy looking screen here. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is conversion pixels. We had somebody bring this up in the Facebook group a couple of weeks ago, and I said I was going to try to do some training on it. It's not something that I know a lot about. Setting up retargeting pixels and conversion pixels and things like that. It's not something that I do a lot of. In my other business, my coaching business, I have one of my partners that handles the paid traffic stuff. So he does a lot of that kind of stuff. But in looking inside the leads dashboard for Lead Gadget, there's a option for uploading a conversion pixel. And so that question was brought up, and I want to talk about that briefly today. So I actually asked Don what the difference between a conversion pixel was and a retargeting pixel, and he gave me this response here, of which I'm going to share on the events page now, so that you guys can see what the difference is between there. And then I did some additional research on my own. But really, the way that I'm understanding and talking with Dawn is that it's not something that we really need to worry about at the moment, unless we're doing paid traffic, which I doubt most people in the group are doing. So I would just say, don't concern yourself with that at the moment. I'm going to continue to do more research on it and learn more about it. And I'll do additional training on it as I learn more for anybody that wants to do paid traffic. But at the current time, I don't think there's many people doing it. So I don't think it's and it's something that's really important at this point. However, if you want to get to know more about it, like I said, the description or the definition that Dawn gave me was great. And also I did some additional research, of which I'm going to share here, and some links to some resources that you can go to start, reading up and learning about conversion pixels and tracking pixels. And essentially the two differences between a tracking pixel and a conversion pixel is a tracking pixel, and I'm going to read this here, not to be confused with the conversion pixel, is an image of one pixel that you place in a web page or an email and let you track how many times the web page has been viewed or the email opened. So in other words, a tracking pixel is just it's a cookie essentially, or a pixel that will notify you or track clicks, or when something has been opened, in other words. And that's what like our affiliate links do inside the Lead Gadget dashboard, right? So if we have an affiliate link and somebody clicks on it, we get that tracking capability, right? So we can see if somebody's clicked on the link or whatever. A conversion pixel is a piece of code that you place on a thank you page or other page to track conversions. So in other words, it is something that will notify if a particular action that you want to be notified of has happened or has occurred. Okay, so there is a difference. And like what Dawn says, with what a retargeting pixel is a retargeting pixel just will cookie a browser so that everywhere you go, your ads can follow those people. And you guys are probably most familiar with that. Facebook, there's a lot of stuff on Facebook advertising for retargeting. And then there's third-party retargeting platforms like Perfect Audience and AdRoll and things like that, of which if you're doing paid traffic, you can get involved with them. Again, it's not something that I know a lot about, but I'm going to go ahead and put this in there as well. And then I'm going to show you some additional resources that I looked up that will go into more in depth. The best description I found of how this works is by, I believe, an affiliate tracking company called Has Offers, but just purely for the understanding or the definition, the description of what pixel tracking is is this article right here. It's really good, and it's got some visual aids and stuff like that as to how conversion tracking works and the different types of conversion trackings that there are. And there's a couple of videos and some images and stuff like that. So this is a really good resource if you want to get an idea of what pixel tracking is. So let me share this as well. And this one, let me actually put this. This is about the best description I found so far. And then I've got some other resources here. When in doubt, go to YouTube, right? There's I got a couple YouTube videos that were pretty good explaining how Facebook conversion tracking works and things like that. I'm going to share those in a minute. Facebook themselves, going directly to Facebook, there's some resources there. So we'll go take a look at those real quick. This one is Facebook for Business. It talks about, this is kind of more of a dumbed down version, a watered down version of what I just shared, but it's just kind of, this is direct from the horse's mouth, so to speak, right? So you can, if you're going to be doing paid traffic using Facebook ads, this is a good place to start to get an idea of what it is. So I'm going to put this link and then one more in there as well. Let's see. And this one here is a help file from Facebook, which was about how to generate or install a conversion pixel on a website. So part of what I was trying to understand was how inside the leads board, let's go take a look inside my dashboard. I'll show you what I mean. All right, so if I take a look at, I'm on the custom jewelry offer here. There's an upload conversion pixel button. If we open this up, there's different types of code snippets. Well, there's an image pixel, which would be like a tracking pixel. Then there's conversion pixels or conversion tracking, which would be like an iframe pixel or a JavaScript pixel. It's a piece of code that will monitor or notify of an event occurring, right? So that's the difference, what we were just talking about between a tracking pixel and a conversion pixel. All right, so that's what, but as far as conversion pixel, I'm assuming you would paste your code here, but again, I'm not sure exactly how this works because we have our tracking links here, and our tracking links, we're going to track clicks anyways. And unless we have access to the destination site where we can insert our code, I'm not sure how that works. So that's why I even asked Dawn specifically, said, hey, well, what do we do with, how does this work? Other than tracking, how do we track, tracking pixels? How do we use a conversion pixel? And he said not to worry about it at the moment. So just so you know, guys, I'm going to continue digging into this myself because I get the tracking part of it. And the conversion part, I understand how it works, but I wasn't sure how we could use conversion tracking on the offer sites when we don't have access to the offer sites. We have access to our own. So like, for example, if we were to have a opt-in on our site, on our lead gadget site, or a site that we built with the ATM, and then we have a conversion tracking pixel on like a thank you page after somebody had opt-in so that we could determine that the opt-in had been successful, that sort of thing, that we could do that, okay? But if you have an opt-in, your autoresponder should do that anyways, right? So, all right, so there was that. Let me grab this help file. I did not paste that in, so let me do that. So the short of this, guys, is to not worry about it at the moment. And somebody in here is doing paid traffic and they know more about it. I would love to have you come on to a webinar with me and discuss how you use it and how we can use it as well. That would be awesome. So that is my request for anybody that is doing paid traffic with these sites to contribute, and I'd be happy to talk with you about it on a webinar. Even if it's not a live webinar, we can do just a hangout and record it if you'd like. So, all right, here's another one that I found that was pretty good. I'm going to keep this post. I don't want to overwhelm you guys, but like I said, anybody wanted to know about this, if you guys ask for information, I'm going to dig it up. Okay, so here's another one that you can look at. And then here's 2 YouTube videos that I found that are pretty good. This one is about Facebook conversion pixels or conversion tracking. And this actually, I'm interested now. This guy did a really good job with this video. It's a very short video. It's only 4 minutes long, but Social Media Ad Genius. And I actually clicked over through to their website to find out if they have like a, you know, a training program on that, and they do, but right now it's closed. So I opted in for the to be notified when they reopen, because I'm curious. I do want to know more about this stuff, so I'm going to end up probably taking some courses on targeting and all that other stuff here soon, as soon as I can find the time, and then I'll be able to give you guys a hell of a lot more information. So that's a pretty good video. Then there's another one here that I'm going to paste in that is from Google conversion tracking pixels. Okay, because you can do the same thing with AdWords. I don't know how many of you would be using AdWords. There's also AdWords for YouTube, right, for video that you can do, which are a hell of a lot cheaper right now than regular AdWords. And so there's a video for how you get your conversion tracking pixel from out of AdWords, in case you guys were interested in any of that. But again, I think most of us here are here because we are trying to rank the sites in SEO, you know, using just traditional SEO. Excuse me. All right, let's stop this for a minute. Google conversion tracking pixel. So this video is it's decent. It's not bad. It's short, 2.5 minutes long, basically, and it will show you guys how to get the conversion tracking pixel out of AdWords. Okay. So with that said. Okay, Kevin Smith, Big Happy, he asked briefly about, or yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, maybe it was 2 days ago now, about adding a nofollow to outbound links. So I wanted to talk about that briefly today. So I actually pulled up the page that I used, the notepad file that I used for the last build, the VoIP build, site build, which is not complete yet. Let's go take a look at this for a moment. And I've got a site generating right now. I'm waiting to see if it's going to be built. Excuse me. And I'm going to talk about a question that came up again about submitting the Webmaster tools. We'll talk about that in a minute. I know I've already done it once, guys, but I'm going to go over it again, and I'm going to make a note of it for this webinar so that the next time it comes up, I can point people directly to this training for submitting the Webmaster tools, because it's going to be one of those FAQs that keep coming up. All right. But let's go take a look at the site. This is the site that I just built and added the training series. And you can see that I've got my images on the pages. And let's just go click through to one of them. And, you know, these banners I created myself using Laughing Bird. Not the greatest banners, but good enough. And you can see that, like, for example, this clicks through. It's going to open in a new window, right? That's what we use the target equals blank for. And this is the pop-up, guys, that I put on it. So let's close that out, and we'll go through that again. But so this is a nofollow link. Target equals blank attribute will open a new window, okay? And then the rel equals nofollow, and that's a nofollow link. Now, I just put the related content. If you know, we kind of had a little bit of a debate about authority content or related content. I think related content is more important than just linking to like a Wikipedia page or a .gov page for the sake of linking to a Wikipedia or a .gov page. I've tested this many, many times, and it's more important to link to related content, whether it's authority content or not. Really doesn't matter. You don't want, you don't want to link to spam sites, obviously, but as long as it's highly related to what it is that you're talking about in your article, I found that to be every bit as effective. Okay. But what I do, and there's a small, discussion about this in Kevin's thread about nofollow and the importance of it. And my opinion, and through my own testing, guys, is that I always nofollow outbound links, always, unless I'm building links with the intention of pushing page rank to a site, which would be like if I have a PBN or private blog network site that I'm building links to a money site and I want to push page rank to that site, then I would keep it as a do follow link. But for all outbound links other than that, I always nofollow them, because why would I want to leak any page rank or juice from my own site to somebody else's site? Doesn't make any sense. Internal links are do follow links. So linking from one page to another on the site is going to be do follow. But linking outside of my site, I always do nofollow, because there's no reason for me to leak any of my own authority to somebody else. I can still point to related content, which is going to reinforce the overall theme of my article, right? But I don't have to leak authority over to them, especially when you talk about linking to authority sites. Why would you want to pass PageRank to an authority site that already has more authority than you? That's my point. Okay. So again, you guys do whatever the hell it is you feel is right. That's fine. I'm just telling you what I do, and for my SEO business, and it works really, really well. And all the biggest sites and platforms do that. They all follow outbound links. Look at YouTube, look at Google, look at Facebook, look at Wikipedia, one of the largest in the world. Look at Wikipedia. Any outbound link is going to be a no-follow link. So for example, I'm just going to show an example of this. Let's go to Arborist. I do a lot of, oops, wait a minute. I got to go to Wikipedia. I do a lot of work in lead generation with tree service industry. And I noticed this the other day when I was looking at the definition for this. We're going to keep moving, guys. I'm not going to beat this horse to death. I just want to cover this. Okay, I've got a no-follow link highlighter on my browser here. So it will put a strike through on any links that are outbound. So every single one of these links here that you see, these are all internal links. Linking, if you look in the bottom left corner, you'll see, I know it's probably hard to see on your screen, but you'll see that it's linking to another Wikipedia page. So all of these links look normal, okay, because that's an internal link. But if we scroll down here, you see how there's a strike through, this line through these links? These are outbound links, okay? So Wikipedia and Google and Facebook and everything else, Twitter, they all use LinkedIn. You know, a lot of the Web 2 platforms now automatically no-follow outbound links. Okay, and so if it's good for them, it's good for me. That's my point. And the reason why is because they don't want to pass their page rank over to anybody else either. You can still rank with no-follow links, guys, pointing at your site, but you're just not leaking page rank at that point. Okay, so that's why I do that. So again, that's debatable. If you guys want to do it some other way, that's perfectly fine. I'm just letting you know what I do. Okay, so with that said, Kevin asked about adding no-follow links. So I want to show you, Kevin, I'm going to copy a piece of this from my image code here in just a moment, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to blow this up so it's easier to see in another notepad file. So just give me one moment. Okay, this should be bigger and easier to see. And you'll see right here that this is my code for the banners that I created. This is the banner code. So if we go back and take a look at this, that's this code right here, okay? And I've got it set up to where it's spun to where you can see that this is the destination URL here. So this is going to be add one. Remember, this is essentially my affiliate link, right? I just created my own redirect URL. So that I could have my own redirect plugin so that I could mask my affiliate link, right? That's the reason I did that. And we covered this in the training. And we can go over this a little bit more if you need to. But then right here, this is where the rel equals no follow goes. And then the target equals blank attribute. And the target equals blank attribute, you can set in the dialog box when you actually are inserting a link using the ATM, the WYSIWYG editor. You can click on the target equals blank. Let's see if I don't know if I've got any content open that's not been built yet. Let me check. Yeah, we'll go in here. This is a site that I never built anyway. So let's just take a look at this. Inside the ATM, like let's say that I wanted to highlight universities right here and I wanted to link out to something. So I'm going to click on the little link icon here. Right here I would set, and like I just said, I don't like to do, I'm going to do for this Wikipedia. I don't usually use Wikipedia stuff because that's been done to death by everybody else, but I'm just going to do that for this sake of this demonstration. But if I was linking to wikipedia.com, then I can click on target and set my equals blank, which is the new window. And you can see that it's underscore blank, right? So if I hit OK, now you can see that's highlighted. If I go to my source code, we're going to find, let's see, universities. That's going to be right here. Let me just copy this. So what I always do is I just put the rel equals no follow. So that's rel, equals quote, no follow, end quote, right there. Okay. That's how you make it a no follow. All right. And again, I don't know if you can do that in a dialog box or not. Maybe you can. I'm just so used to editing the source code for this kind of stuff that's just what I do. Okay. So that's all you need to do to add that, guys, is just add the rel equals no follow. Again, it's called page rank sculpting when you try to direct where all the link juice flows on your own site. And I try to prevent leaking PageRank to other sites as much as possible. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. Let's go back to the questions. Ganti, thank you. If you know, I mean, I'd love to find out more about. Ganti says Postback URL is a server-to-server communication instead of cookie tracking. My understanding is that Postback URL is better if the tracking involves mobile phones, as they do not accept cookie. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Like I said, guys, I'm going to continue digging into this more. And like I said, I'll probably end up taking some courses myself on retargeting and conversion tracking and stuff like that. I'm not a paid traffic guy. But I would like to learn more about it. And when I do, I will share that information with you guys. Okay. So that's interesting, Ganti. Thank you. Greg says, can we have some training, perhaps not this week, about how to add schema markup to our builds and whether or not this will add power? Sure. Yeah, and that absolutely will, Greg. We'll add schema.org. So what he's talking about is semantic markup or structured data, and it will absolutely add power to your sites. There are some resources that you can use, which are WordPress themes that are already coded, that are marked up with semantic. So they're called semantic themes. In fact, Kevin Pauly of Network Empire, and I'm going to grab the link and share it with you guys. I'm a Network Empire student myself. I'm a certified advisor from them, and Kevin Pauly is a semantic genius. He's awesome at what he does, and he has some WordPress themes that he coded. Like he basically took child themes or whatever, and then added structured data to them. So he marked them up with semantic markup so that they are coded with schema.org. And it is definitely, as we continue to progress into the semantic web, guys, schema.org markup will help without a doubt with your SEO. And let me actually pull that link up right now, and I'll share that with you guys. And go buy his themes. They're dirt cheap. I mean, he's like 30 bucks or whatever. Let me see where, let me find it one moment. I'm getting close. Just a minute. Semantic training. I just stopped dead in my tracks because I'm looking for this link, but I can't. I'm looking for it. Just give me one moment. Let's see. Semantic themes. Let me try something else real quick. Sorry, guys. Just let me find this real quick because I think it is important. And that's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. I was refraining from talking about that, but I think it's important. Let me find the let's see here. Damn it. Semantic themes. Let's just say Kevin Pauly and see if I can find it that way. Right here. Of course. Just when in doubt, use Google, right? Dummy. All right. Here's Kevin Pauly. Let's see where his semantic themes are. Semantic child themes right here. Yeah. Okay. So you can buy themes from here. Let's go take a look at it. He's got 3 themes that I know of. He's got a child theme for the 2014 the WordPress 2014 theme. Okay, and these have been marked up. They're really effective. I can show you an example of one, guys, that I use for video stuff. That which is the Semantic Pinboard theme, which you can see right here. I'll show you an example of a live one if you'd like to. Let's go take a look at this real quick. You can order it here. Okay, so here's the order page. This should be the order page, and I think he's got 3 themes that you can purchase. One of them requires the Genesis framework, which would be the Genesis Seduction child theme. It's 40 bucks. So you need to have the Genesis framework first, and then you can use this as a child theme. It's $40. Then he has the 2014 child theme is 30 bucks, and then he has the Semantic Pinvid theme, or which was the Themify theme that he marked up or coded, and that's 30 bucks. Okay, and these are very, very good themes for that kind of stuff. So I'm going to just copy this and paste this into the events page. You guys can take a look at this. Yeah, Ganti, that's what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for ThemeZone. He works for ThemeZone, but or with them, but I was looking for the site that I just got. So it's coming, guys. It'll be on the page in just a moment. But so this is where you can buy those themes directly from him. Okay. All right. If you want to take a look, let's see. I'll show you an example of one. This is one that I use for video stuff. And this is the Pinboard theme. I don't know that this would work really well for that this particular type of theme would work well for the lead gadgets or the ATM sites. It may, I just haven't tested it, but this is all marked up. So for example, this is, let's just open this up for a minute or just copy the URL. If you want to go to take a look at the Google Structured Data Testing tool, which is going to be this, and we take a look at fetch URL, paste this in, fetch and validate, you'll see that this one's marked up well. See, these are all structured data here. If you open this up, it'll tell you what the objects are that have been marked up with the schema.org. And here's the article markup here, which will also show down here that the video object has been marked up properly. So that, like I said, these themes are coded well. They're very, very powerful. All right, so hopefully that will help you out. I don't know of any other people that are developing semantic themes. I'm sure there are. It's just I just used Kevin Pauly's because I know him. So okay. All right. So that said, let's go back to the other question. Barry Hart. Barry asked the other day, this is possibly going to be redundant when the 2 million plus PLR articles get integrated. But for the moment, when you outsource getting an article written, I would like to know the exact thoughts and steps taken. Many thanks in advance. Okay. I mentioned this in the training that I did for the VoIP, which I'm not done with that yet. Guys, I'm going to continue adding training to that series as well. But I'll go over that again right here. I use for my articles up front when I'm testing a new niche or new keyword set or whatever, that I just go over to ineedarticles.com and let me pull that up. And that's also, like I said, that's in that Google Doc with the notes from the job the other day that I did, the VoIP site build. Let's open this up here. And this is I Need Articles by Jonathan Ledger. It is the same guy of the best spinner fame and articlebuilder.net. This guy, Jonathan Ledger, he's one of the giants in the IM industry. So I Need Articles is his service. Okay. And so if we want to go into the dashboard real quick, I'll show you. Very, very simple to use this site. The reason I like this is because you get your content back in under 12 hours generally. Okay. And that's why I like it. You can see the average completion time is about 13.3 hours. But if you just add funds to your account and then you go to request articles, the articles aren't the greatest in the world, but they're good enough and they come back so fast. You know, when I decide I want to do something, I hate waiting for content for a week. You know what I mean? So that's why I just come in here and do it. But after, guys, I went through the keyword research and the VoIP training from the other day, and that I always start off there. Obviously, I'm sure most of you do as well. But once I get a feeling for the keyword set for whatever industry or niche I'm going after, then I will decide on what content I need, and I'll come in here and I'll paste in my like for whatever I did business VoIP the other day. So just type that in as the keyword for your article. Okay, you can select more articles if you want. I did 1,250 words for the last one that I did. If you have, you can check this. These are articlebuilder.net categories here, guys. So like if you want a writer that must have in-depth experience writing on these, if you can find a category in here, I suggest possibly using that. Okay, that would, it's $1 more per 100 words, so it would cost you another $12. But that's entirely up to you. I tend to try to get higher quality content when I can. That said, I'm using this service, which isn't necessarily the best quality, but it's good enough. Okay. I always check on the guaranteed 4 or 5 star writers only. And I also, if it's something more technical like business VoIP is, then I would generally check on the in-depth research stipend, which is an additional 30 cents. So if you take a look at that, guys, a 1,250 word article is $16.25. Now, if I had a category in here that I could have found that, like for example, let's just see if I can find something that would be technology. So cell phones, let's just say cell phones was I was doing something on cell phones. That's going to bring my article value up to almost $30. But if I'm going to use the same article, on 10 different lead gadget sites or, sites built with the ATM, then what do I care if it's $30? That's basically $3 for content per site, right? So, I mean, it's not a big deal. So there's your cost. And then you just check these 2 boxes, hit submit request. And usually in about 12 hours, you get your content back. excuse me. So I'll show you what that looks like. This is what it comes, you get it back in normal format. And you also, now they just started recently, well, in the last few weeks, returning it in spun format as well. And so this is what this looks like. This is the same article that I just got back from this service just a couple days ago for the VoIP site build. And I just use their spun version of it now. Instead of going over to Spin Rewriter and spinning it myself, which is what I used to do before they started offering this service, I would take the completed article and go spin it myself. But then I would have to go through it and edit out some of the poor spin parts, the ones that didn't read well. And that's just like so time consuming. And I honestly hate it. I would rather, I heard Dawn mention this the other day. It's like watching paint dry. I think I would rather watch paint dry than manually spin or correct spin text. Okay. Because it's tedious work. I can't stand doing it. So now I just take it right out of the box, what they send to me, and just use it. Okay. If I spot something that looks pretty poor, then I'll go in and update it. But very, very quick, you can get content. Okay. So I highly recommend the service. I don't have any incentive other than that they just work well. It works well. Let's see. Okay. So to finish that, what do I do, guys? After I've decided on the article, the keyword that I want to target, that's all I do is I get that back. And then as far as I develop, I try to get hopefully there's enough in the content that is ordered or that is returned. Hopefully there's enough co-occurring keywords already, okay, in there that I don't have to add a bunch of stuff in there. But what I also like to do, guys, and in some of the builds, I haven't been doing this recently because, but I like to add the super spun opening paragraph and a super spun closing paragraph, of which you can put into short codes if you'd like, if you're going to use the same opening and closing. For example, with the SEO sites that I've been building, which, I'm building a lot of them. I got one that might even be finished now, completed now. It was generating earlier this morning. But anyways, with those, because I'm doing a lot of SEO sites, driving traffic into my coaching business, I'm using the super spun and opening and super spun closing paragraphs. And for that, I go, because those are like, ultimate spin is like really, really highly spun, which means they'll like take each paragraph and rewrite each paragraph 2 or 3 times or however many times you request. And then they'll rewrite each sentence of each paragraph, even the rewrited paragraphs. And then they'll do the word replacements too, right? So it ends up being extremely well spun, very, very deep spun content. And it's tough on the server to unspin that kind of stuff. And you don't want to get too deep with it because otherwise it'll cause issues. Case in point, I have one. Let's see if I can show you an example of one that was I used a super spun article for the entire thing because I wanted to test the limits of, let's see, webinars.seonation.net. Must not, let's see. Hold on, guys, I'll find it. I used an entire super spun article for the, must be sexy SEO. Hold on a minute. Sexy SEO, not SEO. One more. There we go. It's this one. This is one that I used an entire super spun article for the build. And you can see right here's a spin tag. Right here's a pipe symbol. Right here's a double spin tag. So this did not unspin properly in the build. And it's because it was too deeply spun. So, you can see that this particular build, it's still indexing well and everything, guys. Like, in fact, let's go take a look at the index rate on this. But I just want to show you that you don't want to do an entire super spun article because it looks like it will, depending on how well it was spun, like how deep it was spun. This one was a very deep spun article and it's left spin tags in the content. Okay. And that's not a good thing. All right. But so instead you can just do like an opening and a closing paragraph that are deep spun paragraphs. And the ATM will handle that just fine. Okay. And again, it was too deeply spun. Let's go see what the indexing rate is on that. I haven't looked at it in a while. Curious. 285,000 index pages, guys, with spin text still on the page. That's pretty good. I would say that's pretty good. So anyways, just so you know, I'll share this resource with you guys. This guy's name is JR. He gets backed up sometimes, and so I'm not sure that why I'm even sharing this with you guys, but because if you guys back him up and he won't do work for me, I'm going to be pissed. But if you guys want a definition of the difference between super spin and ultimate spin, or deep spin, this is a good. He's got good definitions of it here. And the guy's name is JR. He's in the Philippines, and he can generate super spun or ultimate spun articles for you. I'll share this link with you in just a minute. It's ultraspinners.com. But if we click on this link right here, this is where I get my ultimate spun articles, which I'll do an opening and a closing paragraph, right? So essentially, you can see, like, if you can send them, this is per 100 words, these pricing. So I will order a 100-word opening paragraph and a 100-word closing paragraph. And in my instructions, I'll just tell him, hey, look, these articles are going to be 100 words for opening and 100 words for closing. The general article that's going to be between those opening and closing paragraphs is about this. Here are here's the main keyword. Here are the LSI, or the synonyms, the co-occurring keywords that I would like you to include. Just work them in naturally. No need to stuff. And just make the opening and closing paragraph general enough that I can insert any article about that same topic in between those, and it would make sense. Okay. If you guys want specific ordering instructions that I use, I'd be happy to send you a copy. And again, like, I'll usually get a 2 or a 3 paragraph ultimate spun for each. So like, if I'm getting a 3 paragraph ultimate spun, it'll cost me $40 roughly, $20 per. So the opening is 20 and the closing is 20. Okay. But here, I'll share this with you guys. Like I said, tell them I sent you if you want, because I order a lot of content from this guy. Let's see. Gregory Sinclair says, can you remind me the name of the YouTube URL scraper? Yes. Can you do the same thing with Scrapebox? I don't know. I ought to know, being an SEO guy, about more stuff about Scrapebox, Greg. That's one of those like industry standard tools that I never learned how to use with Scrapebox. I have it on my hard drive. I just never learned how to use it. You probably can with Scrapebox, but I don't know for sure. The tool that I was referring to was called YSpy. Let's see. By Create Automate. Right here, I'll just grab the link.
Hey guys.
And it's $27. And it's dead simple to use, and it will return 700 to 800 YouTube URLs around a particular keyword very, very quickly. So I highly recommend it. I know somebody in the Facebook group posted a free version of a URL ID scraper, a YouTube video ID scraper in the Facebook group. Somebody posted that the other day. So there's something else that you can use that does something similar. Again, for $27, I thought this was a no-brainer. It's for the amount of time it saves you, it's totally worth it. Okay. Okay, let's see. Kevin says, hey, Kevin, do you ever just borrow articles like Easing and just rewrite them yourself? No, I don't. I mean, you certainly can do that, guys. I just don't do it because, number one, I want unique content, because and being in the SEO industry myself, I tend to try to make content unique as original content anyways. And I know you can do that with Easing article. It's just Easing articles have been scraped to death. I'm not saying don't do it. If that's what you want to do, by all means do it. But number two, my time is better spent doing other things than spinning stuff. Again, I would rather watch paint dry. Okay, like, I don't mind like spinning links together and things like that, like, because that's part of the build. But as far as actually spinning articles myself, now I prefer not to do that. I just hire it out. It's just more efficient for me to do that. But yeah, you certainly can do that. I don't. Okay. Ganti says, Bradley, thank you for the VoIP training. Watch most of it. We'll complete it today. Did you include the notepad files to have a closer look at the codes? No, I haven't yet, but I can. I can just I'll save it in the drive and put the link to the drive file in the notes, so that you can just link over to it and take a look at it. That's fine. Just don't guys, just don't steal my content and use the same content. I don't care if you go after the same niche. Just get your own article is my point. But yeah, by the way, I want to finish talking about this briefly too. You'll see that I put a pop-up on this, that it's a new service that I'm testing. Guys, this site is not done. So before you guys comment on that, it's not done. I'm still not done with it. But let's just click through to one of these and I'll show you. I've got an exit pop. Watch this. It's really cool. So it brings this up, and I've got an autoresponder connected to this already. I used GetResponse for this one. And this is Todd Gross. Anybody in the IM industry knows him, but they did a launch recently for this service, which is it's called Easy Web Video. And this is not a plugin. It's a script that you add. So it's basically, it's hosted offsite. And you can upload videos to it, and it, through in Amazon, you put your Amazon S3 credentials in, you can upload videos to the service, and then you add a script to the footer of your site and then also to the header of the site. And this is an exit pop, so that when you go to, so just so you see what I'm talking about, if I go through, let's just click through to this one. As my mouse cursor goes to leave the screen, it triggers the exit pop. What I like about this is that it's not hosted on the WordPress site. For example, last week I was telling you guys in the webinar that I have been using a plugin, a pop-up plugin called Stack, S-T-A-K-K. And I've had pretty good success with that plugin in generating conversions as far as opt-ins and things like that on some of the local sites for the lead gen stuff that I do. I've got the pop-up which directs people to call, to make, the call to action is to make a phone call to the business. And I've seen an increase in conversions all around, both in opt-ins and in phone calls, using a pop-up plugin. And Stack has just happened to be the one that I purchased at the time when I started testing. But last week, if you guys remember during the webinar, I had I was having issues with that plugin because there was an update, and apparently there's a conflict, and I still have not resolved it because I actually haven't spent a lot of time trying to resolve it. So I was looking for something that could accomplish the same goal but could be hosted offsite, because it wouldn't present conflict issues, which plugins often do. That's why I try to go as light as possible on the amount of plugins on a site, guys, because there's just so many things that can go wrong with plugins. And so I try not to do them. So I found this one, and I think this is pretty cool, just so you guys know. I mean, this site is, if we take a look at the, this site was just built a couple days ago, so it's not really indexed yet. There's a few links. Hold on, usbizvoip.com. See, there's only 4 links indexed, so I'm not generating traffic with this site yet. But what I did was I added this script so I could bring this pop-up up, and there's a bunch of different templates you guys can use. This is just the one that I picked, and I added I have a get response account that I wasn't using, so I went ahead and hooked that up with an autoresponder here. And so if somebody wants to download the white paper, and by the way, I think I did a video for this, but I might not have added it to the training yet for the VoIP. But all I did was the site build. All I did was I went to Google, of course, when in doubt, go to Google, and I typed in VoIP PLR, guys, right? And PLR means private label rights, which is what most of you know that, and that's what we're working on, bringing in the lead gadget is PLR articles, the PLR database, so we can pull articles. But private label rights means we can use it again, and let's see, I think this is the one. Just one moment. Oh, crap. I paid $2 for it, and this one's 84 cents. I'll be damned. Anyways, this is essentially, this is just 10 VoIP articles. I paid for an ebook. Let me see if I can find that. Looks like the Moz bar is acting up. This is the one that I bought, and I got it for $2 the other day, so I don't know why it's $4 now. But this is just an ebook that was, you can purchase, and it came with a bunch of articles too. All right, and I can show you what it looks like. In fact, if you guys wanted to see it, it's just an ebook. Anyways, that's all I'm using to entice the opt-in. And it's not the greatest. I'm testing this, guys, but I think that as people come to the site, click the affiliate link and go fill out the offer form. At least when they go to leave the site, this gives me an opportunity to capture their name and email. I really don't even care about their name. It's their email mainly that I care about, so that I can continue to follow up with them and promote this offer as well as possibly other offers, right? So this is just something it's swag, right? It's just to entice them to opt in. It's a lead magnet, right? So the definitive guide to VoIP is the name of it. It's just a PLR book, and I put links in it. I can show that to you if you'd like. Let me open that up. Let's see. Okay. So I've got this hosted on Amazon S3, and it's just this. I mean, again, we could put graphics on here to make it look better. And I put a link on it right here, right? So get a free quote for VoIP phone service here. You click on that, and it's going to take me to, look, where does it take me? To the offer, right? So it's just a way to get the ebook and then to put them on a mailing list. And in fact, I could show you, let's see. This is the first autoresponder that you get when you sign up is to confirm your email, right? And then as soon as you confirm your email, it sends the download link. Well, it sends the welcome email with the download link to download the PDF, which you see here. Okay. And then I started adding the PLR articles, excuse me, the PLR articles that came with the purchase. So this is what I got for $2 the other day, or yeah, I guess it was $2 or whatever, for the PLR stuff. All these different things in here. Most of this are just garbage, but they had the VoIP articles. If we open that up, these are all the articles that came with that for $2. So I'm just going to use these as the autoresponder series. Like I'm going to go through them and pick out the ones that are, relevant to the offer, which would be anything that has to do with business, VoIP business stuff, right? And I'm going to use those as the autoresponder series. I just got one the first day uploaded now. So there's the immediate email that goes out when you sign up or when you opt in. And then the second email, which goes out on day one, that's where you'll see that's what came out. I just got it this morning because I tested this yesterday. And if you open this up, this is the autoresponder, right? That I used the PLR article that I just showed you in that folder. And I just added links in here. Watch, if I click the link, where does it take me? It takes me to the offer, right? So I'm going to keep that offer in front of these people, for the people that opt in, obviously. But again, this is the same link and this is the same link. So I just put the same link in 3 different times so that I can try to keep in front of them. And also, so if I have a follow-up series, let's say I set up my follow-up series to mail them every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or every Tuesday and Thursday, or whatever it is that I want to do. I can set up based on the articles in here. I could probably grab, 10 or 15 articles here. I could probably find some other VoIP PLR articles that I could create like a 60-day follow-up series that I can stay in front of them, right? To keep promoting this offer until they actually sign up and I get the lead, right? I get credit for the lead. Or guys, you can also promote other offers, right? I mean, once you have them on a list, you can promote other offers to them. And so anyways, just so you know, I wanted to total transparency. Let's see if I can find, easy web video. You guys were interested in this. Like I said, I just started testing it, but what I like about it is that it's hosted offsite, right? So it's not dependent on your WordPress install to work. That's why I like this. And again, I'm just testing it now, so I will keep you guys posted as to the updates. Here is the link to that if you guys were interested. They just relaunched recently. They did another push, and it's, let's see. I'll look and see if I can find the JV Zoo pricing, because like I said, they just did it. This is $57 per month, and I paid like a one-time fee. I'll have to see if I can find it, guys. The JV Zoo offer, they just promoted it a few days ago. And if you guys were interested, just let me know, and I'll see if I can locate the link, because it was a one-time fee instead of a monthly. Okay. All right, back to the questions. Let's see. Ganty says, I used to use V2V a few years back, service for deep spun articles. I don't know if he is doing it still. I'm not sure. Let's take a look. A lot of people who used SE Nuke used him. He is from Middle East. Let's check it out. Yeah, I don't know either. It's something to look into probably. So thank you for that, Ganty. It's just another resource, right? So, okay. So other than that, I haven't really gotten anything else for you guys today. So if you don't have a lot of other questions, oh, there is one other thing. I wanted to go over submitting the Webmaster tools. I've been asked about that again, so let's just walk through that very quickly. So for example, this site, I submitted this to one of my Webmaster Tools account, one of my persona accounts. So this one has already been submitted. But in order to submit a site to Webmaster Tools, and I've recommended this many times, guys, but you don't want to put more than just a couple sites, like 3 to 5 sites per Webmaster Tools account, in my opinion, because otherwise if you're placing all of your eggs in one basket and something were to go wrong, then you are potentially putting all of your sites at risk. So if God forbid you were to get some sort of penalty, they could go scrutinize all of the other sites in that account and possibly levy punishment or penalties against those as well. I've not had that happen, but I just try to limit my risk as much as possible. So I spread everything out. So I just use different Google persona accounts to, and I keep track of everything in a spreadsheet, but that way I can, make sure that I have my sites split up across multiple accounts. All right. So anyways, this one is one of the ones that I just started using, and I got this one added, the US Biz VoIP site. If you want to add a new site, just click on add a site, add your URL here. It'll ask you to verify the site. I just use the HTML tag where I'll go into the site. As a matter of fact, we should probably just log into here and I'll show you. All right, excuse me. So I just add the actual HTML tag to the theme and the header.php file. If we come over here, click on header.php, you'll see that the HTML tag that I added is right here. Always add it just above the closing head tag. Okay, and then once you do that, you click update file, and then you go back over to Webmaster Tools, you click verify, you should get the green checkbox or check mark. Once you do, you'll get to this screen here, which is where you can add like your sitemaps and everything else. This is the dashboard for that site. So I come over here and go to crawl, go to sitemaps, and then you go to add or test sitemap here, and you paste in the sitemap here. So for example, if we go back over to, let's close this out. See, that's it, sitemap index. Excuse me, sitemap index right there. I usually don't submit the index file. It'll give errors a lot of the times, but what I'll do is I like to submit each post sitemap file individually. And then the taxonomy, if you're using that, in this case I am. Sometimes I'm testing both. Usually I don't use that, but I've been testing this recently, and I'm getting results like what I just showed you guys with the SEO webinars, the webinars.seo, sexyseo.co. There was 285,000 index pages, and it's because I've got the tag sitemap submitted to Webmaster Tools as well. So I've been testing that for these sites, and it seems to be working well. So you'll see that I've got that right here. You see that I have that right here, and it's only going to be 5,000 tags per page. So that's the most that it will generate. If you take a look at the XML sitemap, like for example, if we open this up, sometimes I actually read very quickly this time, but there's only 5,000 tags per page. That's the max that it will produce. So anyways, just take this part of it, which would be right here, copy that, come over here where it says submit sitemap, you would paste that in, you click submit sitemap. I've already done it, so I'm not going to do it again. Then you'll refresh the page and you'll see how many have been submitted, and it will show you how many have been indexed. Again, this site's like what, 3 days old, 2 days old. It's 2 or 3 days old. So a lot of this stuff has not been indexed yet. However, once you have submitted all of your sitemaps, the next thing that I like to do, which I had not done with this site yet, was go over to Fetches Google. We click on that, and right here you'll see the root URL. If you want to look at an individual or specific page, you can paste the slug here on the permalink here. Okay, but I just want to fetch the home page here. So let's go fetch and render, and you'll see it'll take a moment for it to read. And once it does, it'll tell us, the status. It'll say checkmark partial or checkmark complete. Generally, partial means that there's a script on the page that Googlebot could not read, and in this case, it says partial, and you'll see why. It's interesting, but the script that they can't read is the Google Maps code, and you'll see it depending on the theme you're using. If you're using a theme that has like like I've noticed like Ajax code and JavaScript stuff like that sometimes can't be read. So you can actually, or if you're using a robots.txt file, sometimes it'll block certain scripts from being read on the page, and you can actually go in and allow it by updating your robots.txt file. You can tell it to allow it to read scripts, things like that. This is just good on-page stuff. But you can see that the only thing that it can't read is the Google Maps code, saying that right here. Googlebot could not get all resources for this page. Here's the list, and it's the maps.google.com that it couldn't read. So I could care less about that, right? But then once you have fetched and rendered, then I can click on submit to index. And right here where it says choose submit method, I can crawl only this URL, which would be just the homepage URL or whatever URL I had it fetch, right? Or I can crawl this URL and all of its direct links. Well, obviously I want to do that. And why do I want to do that? Because if I'm looking at the homepage, what do I have right here? Categories, right? And these categories essentially are a pathway to every single post on the entire site, right? Also, Dawn has coded into the bottom of the site the directory page, or the categories page here with the slug directory. And there's my exit pop. The directory page is the same thing. It's the category page. It's essentially just a category index page that shows all of the categories. So all of these links are crawlable from the home page, right? So essentially by checking on the crawl this URL and its direct links, you're essentially telling Google, yes, go crawl this entire site. Now you're doing the same thing with sitemaps too, but I've seen by doing this, I've been able to force indexing a lot quicker. Okay, so just wanted to show you guys how to do that. So we'll click go, and then you'll see it says URL and linked pages have been submitted to index. Okay, guys, I've been able to take a brand new domain and get it indexed in a matter of seconds by using this method. All right, so I know that's a question that's come up several times about indexing. So I just wanted to cover that once again. So I hope that was helpful. Kevin says, is there any discussion about the specific training for 39 leads? Not yet, because that's several months out, Kevin. So as that develops more, we will certainly let you know about it. But that's several months out. So for the time being, no, we don't have anything else for you. Brian's going to be the man to talk to about that. I'll be providing training as I know more about it. But right now, it's still too premature. Andrea says, when using an autoresponder, they normally require you to have an address included at the bottom of the email. Do you include your address? Anything I need to know about hiding? Yeah, for this one right now, Andrea, I am just using my address because, again, I'm just testing. As it starts to pick up steam or momentum, you know, I'll probably go in and modify it, use one of my personas addresses and persona phone number and all that kind of stuff. But for now, yes, I am just using mine. Okay. Bill Mark says, when you are submitting under a different persona, are you also changing your IP via proxy? Also, how do you manage the relationship between the different personas and the related sites? No, I don't submit underneath the proxy. I honestly don't care. When I create the account, yes. In other words, when the persona's account is being created, I use IP. I use a different IP. In fact, I generally don't create the accounts myself. My outsourcers in the Philippines do, and they use US proxies for that. So, but once the account is created, no, I don't hide my IP. You know, if I was logging into like 5 or 10 different, you know, if I was going to log into more than 5 Google accounts in one day, in one 24-hour period, then I would force a proxy. And then you can see I've got, you know, Foxy proxy in my browser here. So, and I have proxies loaded if I needed them, but I very rarely need to use proxies because I don't usually go into more than 5 Google accounts in one 24-hour period. So I typically do not log in through an IP. When the account is set up, yes. I again, my VAs in the Philippines do, and they use US IPs to set up the accounts. Once the accounts are set up, no, I don't worry about it. Unless I'm going to be logging into a bunch of Google accounts in a 24-hour period. And in that case, then yes, I'll use IPs. God, these guys are killing me. Let me turn that shit off for a minute. Excuse me. Okay. So I wouldn't worry about it. You know, if you've got, as far as managing the relationships between them, what I do is you know, if there's a particular site, as far as managing the relationships, I don't tie them together in any way, shape, or form, other than I have a spreadsheet where I keep track of all of my lead gadget sites. And then you know, and it's just a spreadsheet. And then in the column, I'll, you know, state which Google account it is, the email login address, you know, email login, and then the password, right? And I just keep track of it that way. And then if there are particular sites that I want to keep an eye on more closely, and I don't want to have to come over to Firefox and log in to a separate Google account, then I'll just go over to it and I'll go up to settings and go to users and site owners. And you can see there is no, I'm not sharing this with anybody at the time being, but if I wanted to, I could add new user and I can put myself in here, right? BradleyBenner@gmail.com. and I could give myself full rights and click add. And now if I go log in to Google Webmaster Tools in my main account over here, I'll have access to this usbizvoip.com site. And it's okay to do that. You can manage or access as many sites as you want in your account, but I wouldn't be the owner. So what I'm saying, what I mean by that is I spread out the ownership of the site to multiple personas. So like I don't put more than more than 5 sites in any one owner's account, and I use personas accounts for that. However, my bradleybenner@gmail.com, I've got dozens and dozens of sites that I can access in there, but I'm not the owner. I just have access to Webmaster Tools data and analytics data in my account. So that makes it easy to manage, but I'm not the owner there. The persona's the owner. So it limits my liability or my risk, right? So does that make sense? Just you know, that I do it that way because you can, I try to keep, you know, I've got hundreds of personas accounts because of the other SEO work that I do. So I've got them at my disposal, so I use them. And then for sites that I want to monitor closely or that I want to have quick and easy access to, then I just add them. I add myself as a user to that Webmaster Tools account or in the analytics account, and that way I can access that data from my own account. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, it's 8:30. Looks like there's no other questions, so I'm going to wrap it up. Appreciate you guys being here. As I learn more about retargeting stuff and how we can integrate it, I'm certainly going to share that with you guys. So that's kind of a work in progress. If you guys have any other questions about stuff, just let me know. Put it on the events page or put it in the Facebook group, and we will get to it. And we'll see you guys next week. Remember, next week it's 7:30 p.m. instead of 7:30 a.m. So I'll see you guys next week in the evening. Everybody have a good day. Thanks.